Well, Mike, obviously one of the big topics has been talked about the last couple of days is about vaccinations and how teams are preparing for that. How are you guys being able to handle it considering the challenges you had last year?
For us, it's about helping provide education for our players. And, as we go through this process, that's something that, I was grateful that Myron Roll got a chance to get on and talk to our team and just help provide them information, because as our guys have questions and they want to know just in all aspects of, the effects, the benefits. And it was a great session that our team got to be a part of, and we're on our way with it. And our guys are making those decisions, and we're supporting our players in helping just provide all the information that we can, just to put ourselves in the best position, individually, collectively as a team, and just doing our part in what we can do.
Mike, are there going to be different protocols for those who choose not to have the vaccine compared to those who do have the vaccine?
Those are things that we're constantly evaluating, and just we just experienced a year that we had to have so many different adaptations to how we operated, and so it shows that we can, and that's something that we're going to continue to evaluate as we get more information and get closer to camp. We're going to have a plan for that as well.
Do you guys, the threshold's at 85%, are you guys close to that? Do you feel like you'll be there at some point?
We're getting closer each day. That's something that we're working through. We definitely are aware of all situations, but we're going to continue to see how that progresses. We had a team meeting yesterday. There were some guys that elected that was something that they wanted to do here moving forward, and so we're just going to continue to evaluate that as we get closer.
Mike, go ahead, Andrew.
I'm sorry. You brought both quarterbacks here, and they're both on the media guide with some other players. I know you're not going to come out and say who's going to be starting, but do you feel like you're going to have to play and use both of those guys this season to give yourselves the best chance?
Well, I'm grateful for both those guys because they're both tremendous players, tremendous leaders. Make an incredible impact on our football team each and every day, and we get to go through that process. We had a wonderful spring, got to evaluate those guys for not only where they were, but also who they are and what they do to help make our football team better. The thing I'm excited about is the work that they put in for this summer. And when you have a quarterback battle, or guys are you're looking to establish themselves as the starter or the guy, that development throughout the summer is critical. And so we'll be able to evaluate that here in fall camp. And the guy that gets on the field that makes the 10 guys around him better and is efficient in operation, the explosiveness, all those things that we desire within this offense. That's something that we're looking for. But both those guys are great playmakers. Both those guys are incredible young men. And I'm excited about what they're going to do to help our football team win games this year.
What has it been like watching the two of them support one another and work with one another to make each other better and see where the chips fall when they fall?
Well, it shows you who they are, and it's something that throughout my career, it's I've always taken a sense of pride in you're going to have competition within your team. But when those guys can support each other throughout that competition, they can push each other, that's where it shows the true culture of not only who you are, what your program's about, but also the impact that they're going to have. Because there's competition at every position. And, to play quarterback, the demands of that position, the things that you're asked to do, it's a daily challenge. But when you have guys that are working with each other to try to be the best they can be, that's when you see a room that's elevated. And, it's something I'm excited about.
Mackenzie's? Go ahead.
Have you used the two-quarterback system before to success, or if not, have you talked to other coaches who have given examples of that?
Throughout my coaching career, I've had times that we've used multiple guys. For us, I talk about it all the time. This is an offense that's built for playmakers, and we are going to put our playmakers in a position to make plays, and that's not only at the quarterback position, but at all positions. And I'm excited about that room. I'm excited about not only the two guys we're talking about now, but even the younger quarterbacks. With Tate and Chuba, to have a fall camp where those guys are going to get an opportunity to continue to grow, continue to develop, and we're looking forward to what the future holds, and we'll see how that goes when the dynamic with both of those guys.
What have you seen from Mackenzie in the sense of his leadership in the quarterback room? That's probably one of the reasons why you kind of brought him in here, was to maybe come in there and help out the guys.
Yeah, well, it's not only just a quarterback room, but it's within our football team. You see somebody that appreciates every single day. Somebody that embraces the process of growth, of development, of every rep that you have, because he's the story that he has and the example that he is. It's special. And, I got a chance to compete against McKenzie for a couple of years, and just to watch who he was on the field, but to get to know who he is off the field, and just, he's willing to invest in other people. And, you have a lot of players that, they go through their career, and it's, there's a lot of focus on their journey. But, you see McKenzie, and I mean, it's just, it doesn't matter if it's a freshman, a new freshman that's stepped foot on campus, or if it's a guy that, like him that transfers into a program, he's willing to pour into them. And, that's something that is really just, it's helped our quarterback room, because, you see somebody that's, he's won his last 23 games as a starting quarterback in college football. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. And then when you get to see how he does it, the way that he prepares, the investment he makes in helping build others up around him. I mean, it's definitely done great things for our program already, here in the short time that he's been here.
With that in mind, Mike, both Mackenzie and Jermaine are here today, and they've only been in the program for a few months. I guess, what have they done to warrant being on this big stage?
Well, I mean, they've embraced our program, in all aspects of it. And Jermaine came here because he wanted to have an opportunity to be an impact player, to be somebody that, he's had success on the college football field. He's played at a high level throughout times of his college career. But coming here, it's not only about what he's doing individually, but the impact that he's making to those that are around him. And we've got a lot of great leaders on our team. I mean, you look at guys like Amari Gaynor, Devontae Love Taylor, Jay Sean Corbin, Cam McDonald. I mean, guys that have really, Fabian Levitt up front on the defensive front. But I mean, guys that have poured in a lot to this program. But as these newcomers have come in, I mean, it's how they've embraced the philosophy, how they've embraced the culture, how they built the relationships. And one of the most impressive things about Jermaine was, one of his first days, he stood up in front of the entire defensive line, and he told them, guys, that's not about me. It's about us. It's about what we're willing to do, what we're willing to invest in. To see the reaction of his teammates and how they have pushed along that journey with him. I mean, he's earned the opportunity to be here, and we were able to bring 3 guys here, and I feel like we've got a lot of capable guys that could be here with them. But I think Jermaine's done a nice job of buying into all those areas, as well as McKenzie. Even though they haven't played a game for Florida State, they're embodying the things that we're looking for within our program, and excited about what they're going to mean to our team here moving forward.
What would you have done if you could only have brought 2 players, 1 offense and 1 defense? I mean, we're not living in that environment, but if would you have brought 1 quarterback, or would you have probably just brought a running back or receiver to avoid the questions about who your quarterback's going to be?
Well, that's a great question.
Mike,
I'll answer it when I have to.
Mike,
Looking back at the spring film, do you feel any different about the quarterbacks than you did in March? Looking back at the film now, I don't know.
I definitely am excited about what I've seen, and I'm excited about the growth. I mean, that's, you look at that position. Last year we started 4 quarterbacks in 9 games. That is not a good recipe for success. And, you look at Jordan. I mean, his first week of full practice that we had last year was at the Georgia Tech week. He had some challenges throughout fall camp, so we weren't really able to see him, have that consistent development. And, through the 4 weeks of the practices through the 15 practices in spring ball, I mean, I think everyone saw the growth of what he's made as a player, and the spring game, and just all the things that he's done. It's exciting to see those guys grow and develop. To see McKenzie and how, I mean, to have an injury where you don't get to play the game for 2 years, and to go out and play without any hesitation. I mean, he is just, it's exciting. I mean, it's really. I'm looking forward to what fall camp's gonna be, and to see those guys continue to develop. But they definitely had, they both grew throughout that process, and I think we're in great shape.
Mike, based on what happened last year with the pandemic, do you feel like this year is almost like a reboot, for you guys, because it's year 2 and what you had to go through last year?
I mean, I've had a lot of people, bring up that kind of question, and I'm grateful for this past year. I thank God that he brought me to Florida State at that time to go through the experiences that we had to go through. I mean, it was challenging. There were things that were unexpected. We talked about all the adaptation that had to occur, and but a lot of things that we went through, we needed to go through. I needed to be able to be that example for our football team, and how you respond when things are not easy, when the unexpected shows up. When you have a high and then you have a low, what do you do? And that, for our coaching staff, that is something we tried to be as consistent as we possibly could, continuing to pour into our players, trying to be that example of what it's going to take. And even last year, we saw moments. I mean, top 5 win, against a really good North Carolina team, and we had some low points. But what did we do to continue to grow through that process? And so, we are where we are. We were the youngest team in college football last year. We were able to go out and we got 13 transfers that have come in that I think are going to help that provide leadership. I mean, we've got other things over 310 games of college experience that has just come into our program. But it was something that we needed. We had you have the youngest team in college football without guys that have really had that true example of what that leadership needs to be. And so we're able to build off of the experiences that we faced last year, the things that we've grown and learned, and now we have to apply it here moving forward. And I'm looking forward to that process.
Mike, obviously there was sad news yesterday with the Coach Bowden announcement. I'm just wondering, when was the last time you visited with him? And we all know what his impact has been around Florida State, but just would love your thoughts and perspective on that.
Our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Bowden and Miss Ann and the whole family. And I thought his statement of being at peace. I mean, that's what we all aspire for in life. And Coach Bowden has made an incredible impact. One of the greatest joys that I've ever had was actually last spring, and Coach Bowden came up to the facility and got a chance to sit down with him, and just to have that experience, to know who he is. Everybody points to the coach that he is and was throughout. All-time great, but the person, to be at the unfortunate news of kind of where things are right now. But to even hear his response, and to be able to live a life to where now, here at this point, to be at peace at home and to be able to rest and know the things that he's been able to accomplish, the impacts that he's been able to make. That's what just an incredible example of a man, a coach that changed so many things, here at a university, and is just, it's pretty special.
We've got time for 2 more.
With so many newcomers, transfers, freshmen, and even those guys that are second-year guys, how does it go where a team gels with so many new faces? Because there's not a whole lot of continuity at the top, obviously.
Well, you go through the process. You pour everything you have in each and every day. You build confidence and continuity through the experience. And the experience of every day, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's out on the practice fields, as you go through games. The challenging moments, the successful times and being able to respond together, to be able to invest the work together. Anybody can stand in front of you and tell you what you want to hear of their desired results, but when you actually see the work that's been invested, that's where the confidence and the continuity has an opportunity to gel. It's like I mentioned last year. I stood in front of a team that was the third head coach in 4 years. A lot of change around Florida State over the past few years. The challenges were necessary because they needed to see how I would respond. They needed to see what I would do in the moment when it wasn't comfortable for me, and that's where you build that trust. And it's the same thing with the new players that have come in. I didn't guarantee anyone that entered our program a starting job. I guaranteed them an opportunity to come in and work, to be challenged, an opportunity to build relationships and to elevate themselves on the field, off the field, and in every aspect of what they're doing, because that's what it's about. There's some guys that I'm only going to get 1 year to have an opportunity to coach them. I'm going to give them everything that I have in that year. And I'm going to expect them to give us everything that they have, not only as a player but as a person, because that's what makes a game of football great, is it takes 11 guys on the field at one time, all operating together, offense, defense, special teams. And I know that we've brought the right guys into the program. Doesn't mean it's always going to look great, and doesn't mean it's always going to be just a successful moment. But who you have and how they respond, that's how you develop that continuity.
Coach, can you give us an update on Jordan Wilson's progress, and how can he help you in the run game this year?
I think Jordan is, that was a guy last year that even in the week and a half that we had him in camp, I was so excited about, his size, speed, your physicality, and then unfortunately he had the injury that cost him the year. But you're seeing his rehab, seeing his approach, his mindset. He was in every single meeting last year trying to make a positive impact, whether it's special teams, whether it was offensively in the tight end room. He was willing to make the investment like we talked about earlier, and now seeing him back on the field, his movements, I think he's going to be a great weapon for us, not only in the passing game, but also, like you mentioned, in the run game. I mean, you got a tight end that's 6'5", 265, 70 pounds that can run and move. I mean, I think he's going to help bring a different dynamic to that room, and we're excited about what he's going to be able to do this season.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.